Okay. So yeah, that's what happened to Alexander the Great. So in the first part, we're actually able to talk about his the beginning of the Macedonian Empire to its actually imminent downfall. Now, what happened to Alexander actually after his death is that he do not have wife kasi, no children as well. This young man conquered the world or half of the world, um, only focusing on the idea that he wants to control as many city states, as many civilization as he can, spreading Greek culture. One thing with Alexander, he makes sure that in whatever city he settled in, he will share the Greek culture is also known as Hellenistic culture. Okay, so that he will spread the Hellenistic culture. So he is actually known as a culture spreader. He spread the culture of Greek. So that's the problem now. No heir. Okay, so this is actually the end of the line of King Philip of Macedonia. Parang it stopped in Alexander. And now what happened is that the generals of Alexander, the three generals of Alexander decided to actually divide the empire among themselves. So that's actually the next part of the situation. Pero before we go in there, I want you to see how massive Alexander the Great's conquest look like. During that time, prior Alexander, people are like so amazed with Persia. Parang amazed na yung mga tao that Persia has the biggest empire. Kasi Persia got this, some parts of Mesopotamia, and some parts of Egypt as well. That's Persia. Pero what Alexander did, they started here. His father started in Macedonia and then conquered the Greek peninsula. Once they had this, the father died and then it was somehow inherited by Alexander. And what Alexander did, expanded his empire from this point of Macedonia and Greek going towards Turkey, some portions of Mesopotamia, and then conquered Egypt, and then go back in this portion, and then conquered Babylon, and then somehow his route is like going there. Actually, ano eh, he got somehow so many places pa. Yan, tapos yan. He's about to go to India already, but they decided he must come back because of the revolt nga that happened. And then he settled in Babylon. So he died in Babylon. Okay, so that's what happened with Alexander the Great story. So what happened to the land that he conquered? Yun pa, good question, Rafael. What happened to those lands is actually still controlled by the Macedonian Empire. However, the Macedonian Empire is no longer led by Alexander, but his generals. Tapos, along the way, those generals' power in that land also slip away. Kasi yung mga locals, syempre, nag-revolt na sila against those conqueror, the Macedonian conqueror. However, hindi nila natanggal in their situation the idea that the Hellenistic culture was already been put in there. So basically, what is the general theme of this story is that even Alexander died, his influence remained to the people or to the city states that he conquered. In short, he made Greek culture famous. He made Greek culture famous. So for sure, the Athenians who actually got defeated in the Persian and I mean in the Peloponnesian War are like very proud now. Aristotle is for sure very proud of his student Alexander the Great because that tiny place, the Greek civilization did not just settle in Greece. Alexander spread it. Alexander spread it. So me as a teacher, I actually felt maybe what Aristotle felt. Imagine me as a teacher and then I am teaching you. And then let's say one of you became the president of the Philippines or maybe a mayor of Quezon City. Just imagine how happy I would be that you love social science. Kasi I'm your teacher in social studies right? I'm your teacher in social studies, and let's say you build a career in social studies. Just imagine how happy I would be, especially if I would be like your social studies teacher for 4 years. Kasi I wasn't able to teach you in Asian history. So only world. And then if I will also be economics and contemporary issues, and even your senior high school, I'm your SS. So imagine all your knowledge of social studies, I help you understand that. And then let's say you achieve further in the field of social studies. Just imagine how happy I would be. That's what I'm trying to say with Aristotle and Alexander's relationship. 'Di ba? What he taught to Alexander, Alexander spread in different culture, okay, in this vast world. So that's what I'm trying to emphasize. Such a great man, Alexander the Great. So yeah, that's what happened in there. Further information will be given about the aftermath of his death. So in his death, he had conquered the largest empire ever recorded during that time. So he spread the Greek culture. After his death, his empire fell into confusion because there's no heir, no prince, no queen, no successor. So about 305 BCE, three of his generals divided the empire among themselves. So they just decided, the generals decided, since no one's gonna get the empire, let's just divide it among ourselves. And since he do not have heirs, as mentioned, so the 300 years that followed Alexander's rule is called the Hellenistic Age. So 300 years after his death, so this is already like zero CE. So parang the common era already. The time, the birth of Jesus Christ, somehow is known, that 300 years is known as the Hellenistic Age. For 300 years, his impact somehow lasted that long. Okay, so the following his death, the empire split into different independent states, but still maintained cultural unity. So they have their different leaders, they have their different kings, different same like what happened with Egypt. 'Di ba, when we discuss Egypt and its different there's this I forgot the age of the age of pyramid, and then up until the latter part, the new empire, right? After that, there are like Greeks, Romans, and so on and so forth. So even they had like different leaders, they still embrace the lasting effect of Greek culture. So, yan. So you might be wondering, what's that Greek culture, teacher? What did he spread? So here, yeah, so in the field of arts, philosophy, and science, yan, we're actually the ones that are daily embraced by those people in those conquered lands. So here are those. We're gonna be starting to discuss the culture or the ideas that were left by Alexander the Great in those city states. First is that the idea in medicine. Okay, medicine. So there's this Greek physician or doctor studied human nervous system and described how the blood circulates through the veins and arteries. So since Alexander brought that information to all those city states, they get to know as well. Kasi this is like knowledge of the Greek people. But since Alexander was able to spread it in different places, these people learned about that as well. That there's this idea of blood and circulation in the body, because back then they have no idea about that science, about that fact. But since Greeks know that already, and then imagine Alexander like the bridge. Parang the Greek physician learned about that, and then these are like the other city states in the world have no idea about their body. But since the Greeks already know about that, Alexander the bridge somehow connect connect the knowledge to the people. So that's what happened. And also another idea, Greeks learned from the Egyptian the usage of anesthetic. So the beauty of Alexander, when he give information, he also received information. When he arrived in Egypt, he learned about the anesthesia. So anesthetics is actually used in preserving mummies, in mummification. So when Alexander learned that anesthetics could actually be put in the body and then you will feel numbed, that actually revolutionized medicine, because they can perform medical duties or medical things to a person because it's not painful anymore because there's anesthetic. 'Di ba? So, imagine there's this idea of the Greeks and then somehow helped by the anesthetics of the Egyptian. Combine that, we have modern medicine. Modern medicine. And then, aside from medicine, he also have that contribution in mathematics, astronomy, and geography, which the same thing happened. So, an information presented by the Greeks, tapos when he go to other city-states, it would be add up. Okay, so they will add more about, let's say, the idea of math, in astronomy, and geography. So he connects the world, and he made it like a collaborative learning for everyone. So another idea is that Aristarchus of Samos believed that the earth is round because for a long period of time they have somehow viewed the world as flat. But Aristarchus of Samos, Samos is actually one of the city states that was conquered. Now you might be thinking, hala, they're starting to learn also, because that's what the effect of Alexander. He makes learning and discovery somehow lovable. That's why a lot of people from the city states that he conquered wanted more information. It's like as if he planted interest in their mind, and then there they started to somehow search on their own. So yun. So he stated, Aristarchus, that the earth is round, which is actually very close to the real thing, the factual scientific thing that we know now. And then also the idea of the earth revolves around the sun. And then also Euclid, if you know him in mathematics, study in geometry, and Archimedes, the invention of lever, pulley, and machine tossing stones and hurling stones at the enemy front. So Archimedes is known in science, but also in history. He is known to be like a scientist who invent machinery for warfare purposes. Okay. So it's almost time, but allow me nga to check how many slides pa we have. Naku, so many to. Naku, Epicurean. Oh, no. So anyway, last two slides na lang. I think you can somehow read it on your own because I cannot afford to use our next meeting for Macedonian lecture because we'll be starting Roman Empire already. Roman Empire. So anyway, we only have last two contributors. So Epicurus, maybe ano na lang, just a short information about him. So Epicurus naman, his contribution is more on the ideology, not in science, not in math, not in astrology, but somehow how you see life. Epicurus started that idea of Epicurean belief wherein living your best life. You know, the idea of YOLO, like live your life and then just be happy. That's the ultimate goal of life, according to Epicurus. But Zeno is different. Zeno naman is thinking of think of the divine. There's someone's guiding us. The stoic mentality. Okay? So keep this in mind na lang. Epicurus, Epicurean mentality, happiness, pleasure, basta all things good in life. Meanwhile, Zeno is like more on sacrifices, and even in misfortune, you are guided by the divine. So that's Zeno. So basically, the idea of Christianity and Roman thinking was actually inspired by that Stoic teachings of Zeno. Okay? So yun lang yun in a very quick. Now, Macedonia is called Macedonia now, the Republic of Macedonia. But prior that, so imagine it, ancient time, it's Macedonia. And then sometime in the 80s and the 90s, 1980s and 1990s, it's called Yugoslavia. And then recently, they just changed it again to Republic of Macedonia. So, it's this hidden lines right here, that's the ancient Macedonia. Pero now, the Republic of Macedonia is only this. Okay? Kasi those parts are already gotten by the Greek or Greece. Greece. So yeah, that's that. There's a question posted. That's a very easy activity. Which deadline is gonna be 3 p.m. today. But if you can do it as early as now, that would be appreciated. Okay, so yun. That's that for our lecture. Let us have a picture taking and then I can proceed to my next class already. I have Asian history. Okay, so let's take the picture and 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that uh that's it, and allow me to end our meeting. Bye.